Hi there, it's Caroline again, and I just thought I'd update you today with another little video. Just going to turn my music off actually. Um, there we go. Cool. Just having a little dance before breakfast, and I thought I would do my video first. So, if you saw my last video, my friend mentioned to me I was swearing a lot, and I'm really sorry. One of the things that I've noticed for years about myself is that if I'm really grounded and calm, I don't swear. Why would you? You know, swear words are very plosive, which means they've got a force behind them. And obviously anything with that's letting out our frustration. So if I'm talking about something that I'm quite passionate about, it can come out, but it's generally because I'm not grounded. And when we talk about being grounded, it's being present enough to know that you're probably not breathing that deeply. You're thinking about the future, and you know, this is not just something that people with bipolar or PTSD or whatever suffer. The world is in that, well, the Western world anyway, because it's always, oh, I'm just going to check Facebook, or I'm just going to, well, I do that. I'm just going to do this, or I've got to do this. We're just tripping over ourselves to get to the next thing. And over the last few years, I really felt the layers and layers of difference in myself when I ground. And you can read up about this, you know, you can put your bare feet on the ground or meditate, but essentially the result, and therefore you can get the result, is breathing really deeply. And when you start thinking about breathing, it's like everyone breathes, what are you on about? But when you start observing your breath, you really can tell the difference. If I'm really relaxed, and I'm pretty relaxed now, I've just woken up and I've had quite a lot of meditating before I got out of bed. I breathe from the abdomen. So you put your hand on your abdomen and it goes, but you can see my shoulders are moving quite a lot now, and my ribs. So I'm not that grounded still. That was more of a belly breath. I wasn't really going to talk about breath, but actually it is so fundamental. We should probably only talk about breath. And from there, everything else changes. When you are comfortable enough to stop and breathe in the middle of a crowded city, in a job interview, in a video, you get to be still, and that kind of laugh comes out. I only discovered that laugh in me a year ago. I was doing ecstatic awakening dance training, and I teach that just a little bit at the moment. And in the course, there was so much work on catharsis, really shedding deep-rooted emotional traumas that everyone has. Forget whether you've got a bloody diagnosis. There we go. There's the passion coming out, bloody. Because what is frustrating, the underlying frustration behind that word is diagnosis. Oh, I don't have a diagnosis. I'm fine. Get real. You live in the same world that has war, fracking, destruction of, the forests. We don't know what peace is. there's no one on earth that doesn't have an element of stress, okay? Being born is pretty stressful, especially given the interventional methods that the 21st century medical profession likes to enforce on a lot of people. That's a whole nother thing, and I'm lucky I didn't swear about that. The passion I have about that is quite big. So coming back to breath and trauma and a label or not, just people, through a lot deeper breath, one, you access your, when you're in a meditative state, change your brain waves, so you start to access deeper parts of yourself rather than this, I'm just up here, oh my god, I've got to get on. When you come in, it helps with the grounding. My understanding of where I've been for most of my life is pretty much up here, nothing to do with my body. I didn't want to be in my body. I didn't want to be in this world, actually. As soon as I could think and feel, I just thought, what the hell is this about? I heard stuff about love and Jesus and, you know, the Bible stories. I think I went to Sunday school. And I don't like the surrounding images and the hypocrisy in a lot of the stories, because let's face it, that's nothing to do with what old JC had to teach, right? But I always had this feeling like, I kind of get him. He's like this healer. He's just like a hippie. And I've been a hippie for a lot of my life, you know, check out my house, you know what I mean? I used to have dreads, blah, blah, blah. That's not really being a hippie, but you know what I mean? People always use, oh, you're a hippie. And, you know, truer than a lot of people that I've met in that scene, I actually really was about love and wanting to save the world. But like us all in that scene for a lot of time, I was just, get me the hell out of here. I don't see how I can help. It's too big a deal. You know, because when you look on that level, you're like, oh my God, look at the world. I've got to do it all. When you come to breathing deeply, you come to a state of stillness and you realise that there's only one of you and you can only do what's in front of you. So a major part of the shift for me over the last few years is realising that through the trauma, whatever happened in my childhood and early years, not dissing my parents, that's just life, okay, because we're so out of touch with loving nature and a nurturing environment. I just got more and more up here, so my breath was just out of whack all the time. And in fact, when I used to dance for hours, I used to rave a lot, I would get to a point where I almost wasn't breathing, and I know somebody might knock me, and I'd do this, and whoa, and I'd be like, I'm sure I just haven't breathed. It's like I became so proficient at just not doing this body stuff that I'd just be like, I mean, I listened to psytrance, and like I'd be tripping on nothing. People would be like, can I have drugs from you? Look at you going. It's like, mate, I'm sober. I'm just well up here. I mean, they call that out of body experience or whatever, but it wasn't really intentional, but I was escaping the trauma in my body. Okay, so what my breathing and the healing things have done is like I'm coming back and coming back and coming back, and this grounding is like, can I feel my feet on the floor? I mean, give a go if you're still watching, you know, put your feet on the floor, and I'm like, and you can go, oh yeah, I wasn't actually feeling them, I was about here. So a lot of the time, a lot of the work I do at the moment to just keep promoting this grounding in myself is breathing in and out of my heart, or breathing in and out of my abdomen. And you can do it lying down or sitting. Forget strict positions. I'm not into strict. It's, you know, it just creates this elite, oh yes, I'm looking like this. You'll know in your body, when you start listening to your body and being more in your body rather than escaping into thoughts and panic with the shallow breathing, when you breathe in and out, I mean, one visualization you can do actually is breathing. I start in my heart and breathe the whole body, and then breathe out. It's like you're breathing in through your heart and filling out your whole body. So your awareness is getting used to being in the body. And, you know, meditation has got a lot of, it's a bit like God. I think it divides a lot of people because it's a bit like, oh, it's this and whatever we associate with it. But really, the essence is just breathing in a more relaxed way. One of my favourite teachers, Matt Kahn, he rips all that kind of stuff apart. He's really spiritual and he's into, we're all unified, we're part of God, as in the wider sense of the fact like all the energy that makes up Caroline is interconnected with the space around me, everything else, and therefore you, we're in the kind of soup of energy. And so, I don't know where I was going with that anyway, but don't get hung up on methods and being perfect. And that's a whole another video. I've been a perfectionist for years, which then stops me doing anything, have really high standards and then go, I'm not really good enough. Now I'm being a bit more, it's okay not to be perfect, and I'm good enough to be not perfect. And that's fine. There's your ego one way, ego the other way. Really messes your head up. That kind of creates the high and the low. A lot of the problems that we create for ourselves, again, bipolar side, is having these extremes. And when you come back to breath, God, I really did talk about breath the whole time, didn't I? We become centered. And you focus on what's right. And obviously for me today, that was right about breath. That's what I needed to share with you. And I'm cool with that. I don't have a set agenda for my life and what I'm doing anymore. Because when I'm centered in my breath, there we go with the chest breathing again. What comes out is right for the moment. And I don't question it. So blessings to you and my offering to you about loving bipolar, which in a sense is loving yourself. Forget whatever diagnosis you have. Okay, it's important to go, okay, I've had this symptom, but the end result is the same. It's coming to a state of stillness and peace in yourself where you can begin to really love yourself and strip off these layers that I've talked about before, that layers of the onion, call it what you will, to really get to the kernel of you. And that source consciousness is what we're all trying to get on the spiritual journey, like the true stillness. And it's not then doing nothing, but it's doing, in everything you do, you're very calm and you're grounded, and you do it to the best of your ability, but you're also not going to beat yourself up about the outcome of it. You're just, because you feel good, the external world, it's okay. Yeah, we don't want war, but you kind of make a bit more peace with it because your body's not in a state of like, oh my God, which that was me for years, gotta keep going. Instead of just, it's all okay, because it is. Okay, blessings to you, and thanks for tuning in if you lasted this long. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.